Hi, this is Joe Mitchell, activateyourgreatness.com. And I am very pleased to do yet another Facebook Live. I've been doing these things every night at 7 p.m. And this one is going to be a little bit different than the ones that I've been doing, maybe a little bit longer, perhaps. But basically, what I'm going to talk about today is the Daring Success Formula. Daring Success Formula is from my book, The Art of Joyful Achieving, which I published a little bit, a month and a half ago or so. And if you go to my site, activateyourgreatness.com, you can get 2 free chapters. So, do that, or go and just get the book. The ebook is, I don't know, $3 or something. And it's got some really great stuff in it. It's about how to achieve your big goals without stress. And so I've been doing several videos on this, and this one, so we have the D, which is decide on your wow goal, and then the A, which is activate the power of tapping, and then R is release your up until now limits, the 3 big limits of high performance and high performing success, which are procrastination, toleration, things that you tolerate, and lack of self-confidence. Today is the I in the Daring Formula, and the I stands for, let me just turn on a little bit more light here. Hopefully this will, good. So the I stands for install your joyful achiever identity. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So why do we have this thing called the joyful achiever identity? Well, the joyful achiever identity is who you believe that you are. So I like to compare it to being an early riser. So I could be an early riser, and that's there's something to be said about being an early riser. But what we're talking about here is having that same belief that I'm an early riser, that I'm a joyful achiever. So it's a matter of believing in our heart that that's who we fundamentally are. And one of the most powerful techniques that I found for installing an identity in ourselves is through 3 power words that you repeat on an ongoing basis. Very, very powerful. So we'll talk about that. We'll also talk about what does it take to achieve with joy. So it means that as we go through our day and as we're doing the things that we're doing them with joy. And that takes little secret sauce, which I'm going to tell you about also. And then how do we keep this going? What are some of the tips to keep this joyful achiever identity alive? Okay, so let's get started. So first of all, what I want you to do is to choose 3 power words. Now, power words are words that describe you at your best. You, especially in business, okay, especially while you're working in your career, in your business. What are the 3 words that describe you at your best? And there's in my book, there's a whole list of those kinds of words. But I think that if you just close your eyes and you think about what is it? What are those words that describe me at my best? I think they'll come to you. So for me, one of them, of course, is joyful. Another one of them is confident. And for me, the third one is engaged. I'm present, I'm engaged, I'm going for it while I'm joyful and while I'm confident. Now you can use those 3 words if you like, or you can have your own 3 words, whatever you like. And if you get my book, there's a workbook that comes along with it that's online that you can download that goes into this in some detail. So you want to choose your 3 words. And then once you've chosen your 3 words, you want to say those 3 words on a regular basis. I got this whole process from one of my mentors, Brendan Burchard. And Brendan suggests that you say these words every hour. That you set yourself a little alarm on your watch, and that every hour that you say these words. You can say them out loud, you can say them in your head, joyful, confident, engaged. Because then you start to really focus in on those words, because those words are really going to be a big deal for you. If you use them, they can change your identity. They can have you go from a sleep-in person to an early riser, to a have to a joyful achiever. And that's what we're really looking for. Okay? So that's the first thing. Second thing is there's a very important principle here about non-attachment. We usually hear that in the Buddhist tradition, you be non-attached. But it applies to the way that we go about achieving our goals. Now, if we're thinking about our goals all the time, and we're thinking about, well, when I get this goal, then I'll be happy. But right now, I can't be happy because I don't have that goal. That's called being attached to the goal. So we still are committed to the goal. So you're committed, but you're unattached. So if you're doing something and it's not working, you're not so hard on yourself because you're still committed to your goal. But if you go a little this way or a little that way, it's okay. You're okay. It's this whole thing about being non-attached is to, first of all, have us be in the present moment. And secondly, to let go of all of what we think it should be like. Because then we can be joyous. And that opens the space for being joyous. Now, we may be at some point frustrated. And what I always say to people, and what the book tells you, is that when you get frustrated, that's the time to do your tapping. Tapping is the most powerful way to release negative emotions that I have found. It works. So if you find yourself frustrated and you're working and you're frustrated, this is a great time to do some tapping. I mean, you can also go take a walk, you can do some push-ups, you can do a bunch of things, but for me, there's nothing that quite works like tapping. So good. So another thing is to appreciate yourself and reward yourself. So as you're working on your goal, and as you're working towards whatever you're working towards, whether it's your big goal or whether it's just having a productive day or just having a good day, you want to appreciate yourself for your forward motion, for the things that you've done, for the things that really get you feeling like, yeah, I'm a good person. Yeah, I'm a great person. Yeah, I am an achiever. So it's the little things. It's like, for me, like being on time for this presentation, or it's meditating this morning when maybe I'd rather have slept another 10 minutes. So you want to appreciate yourself, and then also reward yourself from time to time. When you hit a certain benchmark, it's a good thing to reward yourself. Okay, I wrote my book. All right, great. I'm going to order that TV that I've wanted to be ordering, because I just hit a really nice milestone and I deserve something nice. So that's the other thing, is to reward yourself. So appreciate yourself and reward yourself. Beautiful. So that is, and then when you handle your difficulties, when things come up, again, this is the time for you to feel into your feelings and to do some tapping when the difficulties come up. What you want to do is you don't want to sit around and be frustrated and just kind of like slug through it. That's not what this is all about. This is about turning around the negative feelings, turning around the negative stuff. So that's the heart of installing the joyful achiever identity. The 3 words: committed but non-attached, reward and appreciate, and deal with difficulties through tapping. So there you have it, the I in the daring system. Thanks so much for listening and participating. And you can get your workbook. First of all, you can get, if you go to my site, you can get 2 chapters, and you can get your workbook when you get my book. It's that there's a link to it in the book. So let's do this. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you soon. Joe Mitchell, over and out. ActivateYourGreatness.com.